Hello, guys. Good day. This is Anne of Reinforce Big Love, your fellow positive reinforcer. Today, we are going to talk about the top 10, 10 simple monthly habits that quickly boosted my first house fund. I was able to buy my first house in Ireland last year, 2023. It took me 3 years to save up for that. And you know the way when you try, when you want to, when you want something so bad, you got to say no so that you can get no to other stuff in order to be fully committed to something that you want long term. Saving money to buy a house is such a huge goal, and it can be overwhelming, especially if you're working with tight budget. But the good news is that by making small, steady changes on how you manage your money, you can make a real progress towards home ownership without drastically changing your lifestyle. So, what I did was I save up more than 28% of my salary. And I even listed down in my notebook, which I still have, I'm still using the same notebook for over 3 years. I know exactly where my money is going. So after 3 years of doing that, I was able to manage getting a mortgage for myself. It's not a superhero journey, but I'm just telling you today that if you really want something, you don't take no for an answer. You don't make excuses. You do whatever it takes, and you are willing and able to pay the price in order to get that. That's why I said earlier that when you want something so bad, you have to be willing and have the guts to say no to other stuff to keep your focus on the price, which kind of long term. Whether it's cutting out unnecessary expenses, setting up automatic savings, or making a smart investment, there are plenty practical strategies that can help you and me saving money every month. With commitment and clear plan, you see that every bit adds up, bringing you closer to your dream of owning a home. And it doesn't really, when you already plan out how you're going to accomplish such a down payment or a savings in order to buy a home, when everything is set, time doesn't really count. When you know already where your money is going, it's just a matter of time that you're going to get exactly what you want because it's all been set. It's just a matter of time. Now, this episode will walk you through my personal experiences. I'm going to share to you the top simple habits, so which somehow could help you set yourself up for success on your journey to buying your first home. Now, the first tip that I'm going to tell you, which is basic and is also crucial, is pay yourself first. Now, other people, this can, I say it's crucial because other people can, think about paying themselves first by means of buying branded clothes, shoes, and bags, or traveling anywhere as much as they can. Now, what I mean about paying yourself first is that you treat saving like paying a bill. Each time you get paid, put some money into your savings right away. That's how you pay yourself first. Plus budgeting. So you budget something which must be set aside for those fancy clothes and holidays or vacation. It doesn't mean that you're not allowed to go outside the country or outside the town, but it's just that you have to make a budget for that in order to get that. But never forget to set aside, to allot money for your first home. Now, paying yourself first by setting money aside for savings, this makes sure you're saving before you spend on anything else. So that's what I mean about paying yourself first. Think of it like hiding money for your future house before you even think about spending it. So, or in case of emergency, you can always grab some money somewhere else in your savings account just for you, rather than paying yourself by spending all your salary after bills and nothing's left. Now that's another way of paying yourself first. But this in this episode, what I mean is, put some money into your savings right away. It could be automated, or it could be just intentional, or by percentage. I already have uh, a plan out, bills per month in my notebook, so I know where my money is going, like gas, mortgage, groceries, what else? Holidays, I have money for that. Uh, phone bills, budget for cars, everything. So, and then what's left is my savings, a percentage for my savings, a percentage for investment. I can, if I ever wanted to invest in something, I can put that amount of money, put a certain amount of money, and then the third one is for reserve. In case if anything happens to me, I can always have money. That's for emergency fund. So other than that, I've already set a budget for everything per like essentials and non-essentials. It's all budgeted, so it's all been set for me personally, and you can even do that yourself. I believe so. It's gonna be hard the first time you try it because you have to make some adjustments if you're not used to it. But the following months, look, when your salary comes into your account, you just transfer money towards the bills and your fund for the cars, petrol for the month, for groceries, all is set, and it will only take 5 to 10 minutes to transfer money to pay bills and everything in advance. So it's the hardest part is just the start, and it wouldn't be that hard though. It wouldn't be that hard as studying. You just have to reflect for maybe 20 minutes to half an hour and to set up everything for you to be able to know where your money is going, and then you're good to go. And the second tip that I gonna share to you, which is also based on my personal experience, is have a separate savings account just for the house. So, so after all of my essentials and non-essential bills for the month, I have another three category that I must put money on. The first one is emergency funds. Second one is for the business, in case if I wanted to invest in something, then I have money ready for that. And the third one is real estate, in case if I wanted to buy a house. So it's all been set. What I'm doing is just like, for example, I got a thousand euro left after bills, after all the essentials and non-essential budgets. So I got 1,000. So what I'm gonna do is divide that 1,000 for three. So I could save up maybe or 20% each. Or out of that 1,000, I just divide 1,000 divide three. For emergency fund, business, and real estate. So I'm doing that method, that strategy for more than 2 years, maybe 3 years. I started that since I arrived in Ireland last 2020. That was a days before pandemic. So I'm still using the same strategy up to this time, and it still works for me. And hopefully, by sharing this to you, by in my own perspectives, I also just got that from another book, and this might gonna help you. So have a separate savings account just for the house, or you could even have a big savings if you're planning to buy it for a business. So residential or buy to let mortgage. So it's up to you. It depends on whichever you prefer, whatever you want. So what I'm trying to say about having a separate account for the house is keep your house savings in a different account from your spending money. This will help you see exactly how much you've saved up for your house. It's easier to track and harder to spend when it's in a different account. And I absolutely agree on that. Now, number 3 is use the needs, versus wants rule in spending money. Now, what I'm trying to say is a need is something you must have in order to live, like food, shelter, comfort, electricity, especially in Ireland because it's cold. A want is something nice to have, but not necessary, like new clothes, gadgets, new branded shoes, or holidays. You can't stand a month without going somewhere else. So it's also a want. You can hold for a holiday for like 3-4 months, save up for that holiday, and then go for a holiday after 3 months. You don't need to go for a holiday every month, or you can even just you might want to consider a mini holidays. Just go somewhere else within your budget. Now, this will help you by focusing on needs and spending less on wants. Means you can save a lot more each month. Before buying anything, ask yourself, is this a need or a want? Now, The fourth thing that I did, because I am not really particular with other stuff like clothes, but I'm into food. As much as possible, I won't buy cheaper foods for myself. I would spoil myself eating my favorite food. Now, what I'm doing, you know, before I got excess cash for groceries, after saving a couple of months and then a couple of weeks and then treat myself, is that I do meal planning, and I always have every month, down to every month to every week, grocery budget. Now, what I mean is that you try just plan out your meals for the week and make a list before going to the store. Like for myself, I am into high protein diet. I love fruits, grapes, watermelon, what else? Oranges. So I have them certain, like maybe a dozen of orange for the week. And then since I'm into high protein diet, I love meat. I'm not a vegetarian. Pork and beef and chicken. I have it in the fridge for the week, and that's enough for me to cover up, entire week meals. I even cook, for myself, and I bring it to work. And when I have excess cash before the end of the month, there are times that I'm really lazy cooking for myself. So those excess cash before the end of the month, or if I ever have an excess cash for groceries, which was left, a month ago, so I treat myself. I don't cook for myself. I buy foods in the workplace, or I buy my favorite Chinese foods, which is just around the neighborhood. I buy takeaways. I even buy pizza. Just to treat myself. Now, how it's going to help you then? When you know exactly what you need before you go to the grocery, you're less likely to buy extras. Cooking at home also saves you way more money than eating outside, which is, I do agree with that because, imagine one chicken. I can, consume the entire chicken maybe 3 days. I just cut it out, mix it with vegetables. I can cook that one whole chicken in 3 days good for 3 days in different ways. So that's already a lot of savings. Now, number five is, this has something to do with this is quite connected with the, needs and wants rule. Number five is wait before you buy. Now, what it means is that for anything that's not essential, wait for a few days before buying it, especially if you're buying fancy clothes and shoes. Wait for a couple of days, maybe a day, you know. And if it's still inside your head, like that fancy shoes, Reebok or A6 shoes, which is more than €100, if it's still in your mind for after 2 days, 3 days, and you have a couple of extras to buy that extra cash to buy that shoes, then if it's still in your head, then buy it. But there are times when we are emotionally attached to a clothes or a shoes right at the moment, and then when we're out of the store, we just simply forget about it. So I'm also doing this though when I want to buy a new shoes for myself for work or for my personal use. When I try to check on the store and then the price, I'll just come back. I wait for 24 hours. And then most of the time though, I actually change my mind. After 24 hours, I still think about buying a new shoes, but I go to another store and then I buy something else much cheaper and better and almost the same to my first shoes crush in the previous store, which made me think to buy, to get another option. So how does waiting before you buy helps? Sometimes after waiting, you realize you don't really need that item. You don't really need that, shoes with that kind of price. You still have other options. Or sometimes you just feel emotionally excited to have that. And when you're out of the store, you just forget about it. Maybe you're just hungry, or you thought about other needs, which is your priority, not your wants. And waiting before you buy, this can help you avoid buying things on impulse, which saves you money over time. And This is quite true. Number 6 is use cash for fun purchases. Now, what I'm trying to say about this is that set a small amount of cash aside for any extra spending each week. Like for me, after salary, I set aside an extra of 50 euro. I can do whatever I want with that 50 euro. I can buy new shoes or buy a Vietnamese food. I love takeaways. I love trying different food from, you know, different countries like Vietnamese foods, Indian foods, Chinese foods. I love foods. I love eating. So that's my trip. Not necessarily fancy shoes and clothes, just food. That's my weakness. I love it. I love trying different dishes. So that's what I'm doing. Other than mini holidays, not mini holidays by means of long drive. I love long drive, so you know, I could go somewhere else for maybe 1 day or 2 days, sleep there, and then that's already my mini holidays for the week. So, but that is totally planned and budgeted before I go somewhere else, which happens almost every month. Just long drive, gas, and one night stay. That's all I'm spending, and I have the best days of my life seeing new places. So use cash for fun purchases. So what you're gonna do is set a small amount of cash aside for any extra spending each week, and I've already said this a while ago, and it can actually help you keep you from spending more than you planned on things you don't really need. So once the cash is gone, you've spent your limit, the budget for fun. So when you finally spend it, then that's it. Spend it for shoes, spend it for food, spend it for travel. That's your limit. Because you must set that limit, absolutely, because you have a goal which is much important than that fun, quote unquote, fun purchases. Number 7 is this is another important thing. Cut out unused subscriptions. So what it means is that look at your monthly subscriptions like Netflix. If you're really into series and movies, then you keep your Netflix. Or if you've been subscribed with other stuff like a cable TV, if you really need that, or a Zoom call, but you're not using it, anything unnecessary, cut it out. Look at your monthly subscriptions like streaming services or membership and cancel anything that you don't use much. If you have a gym membership but you're not really going to the gym, you're only going to the gym maybe once a week, once a week for 1 hour, maybe you need to think about it. You need to reflect why you get that membership when you only go to the gym once a week. If only you're into saving money. But that is fitness, and that's a big deal. So once you're into you got yourself into a gym membership, make sure to use them well. That's fitness, health, that's essential. So use it well. So far, the only subscription that I have is just internet and phone bills. That's it. I don't watch. I'm not into Netflix, so I can watch my favorite movies when I want. I know where to get them. So far, I'm not also into. I don't watch TV. I'm just happy with YouTube and anything that I can have, especially podcasts. I don't really need a subscription for that. It's all free, and I don't mind the ads. It can even help me be aware about what's really going on and how to market stuff by listening to ads. So that's all the membership that I have, the internet and phone bills. Monthly fees add up. So getting rid of unused services can put more money towards your house savings. So that's what I mean to say. That's why you need to get rid of those unused subscriptions. You think about it, if you really have to ponder if it's really worth your money. If you are, investing your time into those subscriptions. Otherwise, if not, then cut it off. Number 8 is that buy things that last. This is important. This is one of the attributes of those big savers or minimalists like me. So it's better to spend a little more quality items that will last longer than to buy cheap things you have, but you have to replace them often. So it's not about money. It's about the value and the quality that you can get. I don't mind spending more on laptops over €1,000 or €2,000 if it's gonna bring me to 20. If I can still able to use this laptop for more than 5 years, then I buy this because I just bought the laptop. It cost me one and a half grand to for this laptop that I'm using right now. So although there are some disadvantages, but I just look at the advantages, and I already have the laptop now, and I love it. Now, how does it help? Buying things that last. Spending a little bit more in quality saves you from buying replacements all the time, which cost more, in the long run. Number 9 is use cashback apps for groceries. Like for me, I use Revolut. If you want to shop around online, you can use Revolut. They have a stores there which they will give you cashbacks. And for me, I gain cashbacks on my spending via Revolut. So it's not that I am promoting Revolut right now, but it is indeed true. Revolut has a great offer at the moment. So you might want to check on that. So some apps give you a little cashback for certain items at the store. So just like in Revolut. Getting small amounts of money back on regular shopping trips can add up. Transfer that cash to your savings for a little extra boost. If to some people they're using credit cards to buy stuff, and that can also give them a cashback or gifts at the end of the year, or it can even boost their credit score. To some people, I don't have a credit card, so to some people whom I know, they love to use credit card because of the perks. Lastly, it's important to track your progress to be able for you to to boost your dopamine, to know where you're going, to really see how you are at the moment. It's important to track efforts, not only in savings but even other stuff. Keeping track on your savings, how much you're saving each month, and set the smaller goals along the way can keep you motivated. It can even make you happy or even happier when you see your savings growing every month. And then you finally thought about maybe, you could get another side hustle in order to boost that savings and for you to buy that house. Instead of 5 years, you could even buy that house in 4 years or 3 years. You can even cut the length of time, or the length of time on your target. So it's up to you. Watching your progress will remind you how much closer you are in getting to buy that house, your first house. Meeting smaller goals keeps you excited about the big picture of your first house and your family, or if you're single, you can rock and roll. You have all the spaces. You can even imagine like that could be your first investment. You can rent out the other room, for Airbnb. It's all up to you. Just track your progress and be excited. You're gonna for sure you're gonna get excited as it grows in time. Now, these simple steps make it easier to save extra money each month. It's just you have to remember that small changes can add up to your big savings in time. So good luck with your goals. If if you are into this savings thing and looking for other sources of income in order to buy a house. Look, when you really want it so bad and you do anything for it, it's just a matter of time. You're gonna get it for sure. Now, if you ever love this episode today, you can share it to your family and friends. You can follow me in YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, Apple Podcast, even in Amazon Music. This is Reinforce Me Club. And by the way, your fellow positive reinforcer, I do appreciate the time and have a lovely day ahead. Thank you once again.